Okay, I want to bring in more news at this point in time. We're learning that Chinese foreign minister has said that it will absolutely and resolutely safeguard its legitimate rights and interests in the face of new tariffs imposed by the United States. China has said that pressuring or threatening China is not the right way to engage with them and has vowed to defend its rights and interests. Ajay Dua, bringing you back into the conversation. I want to understand from your perspective, the trade war, a similar trade war has happened between the US and China uh, earlier under Trump's first presidency as well. But what really will be the impact this time around when the world's two largest economies engage in a trade war once again in a post-COVID world?
Uh, that's something which I don't rule out happening. That's number one point, number one observation of mine. Number two, I think we need to separate the immediate and the short-term effect from the medium and the long-term one. In the immediate run, including short-term, that means 1 to 2 years, the American consumer, which is hugely dependent upon imports, and a lot of consumer goods and consumer intermediates come from China, is going to be made to pay extra because of the duties. That could lead to inflation in the US and an outcry from the public at large, as some of it which we saw yesterday. 150 groups getting together, different motives, but all actually saying, what the hell is happening? You're not looking at our welfare in mind, but you're looking at the larger picture, which is very right from a citizen's point of view. Citizen is the government, it's the powers that be, which have to think long, and a citizen will look at his or her immediate interest. So I do think inflation will set in the short run. What the Fed chairman feared, recession could also take place. Recession and inflation, the two are big monsters. Let's understand their impact can be there can be a political impact as well as there can be economic impact. So what would President Trump need to do? As soon as this starts happening on a noticeable scale, he will have to immediately get down and lower the taxes, the corporate taxes, individual taxes, in order to moderate the effect of recession and the inflation in the country. And I think he's mentally ready for it. He's not going to risk his political future only on the ground that he's going to be able to achieve something 3 to 4 years from now. So as a politician, he will immediately do this. And that's where the difference comes with the Fed president. He's already indicated to him saying, please roll back the Fed rates, the policy rates, and he's not towing the line. They've even had to say, somebody on his behalf, Fed chairman's behalf, has said that the president cannot remove him, that he doesn't have the powers, that the issue, if at all the president tries to do that, it will probably become a crisis-like situation in the US monetary field, industry. So now what would happen in China? I think somewhat less, but China gets hurt economically in the long run fairly distinctly. All right, China would have one other advantage. China, by imposing the 34% reciprocal duty or retaliatory duty, whatever you call it, is going to hurt President Trump politically, because on agriculture products, 20% of the exports of the United States of agriculture products are to a single country, China.
Okay.
And those will become China by levying a 34% duty on those would kind of hit Mr. Trump politically in the 10 states, which are agriculture states, which have hugely voted for him. But China realizes that it can play the game only up to a point. It's
Okay.
huge. It's hugely dependent upon technology. It
Yes.
is hugely dependent upon critical inputs for its defense industry, for its electronic industry, including semiconductors, which it claims that they have made tremendous, or AI, blockchains, etc., where they have made. But that dependence upon the US continues to be significant, and I think the Chinese would would not be in a position to find an alternative for it, because most of it comes from the United States.